Now, a lot of you. So I know this thing is going viral because there's a lot of people reaching out to me because somebody was like, "Man, I seen your video you did like some years ago where you told people where Biggie got his style from." And hit the like button right now because I want everybody who's coming in right now to see this, to actually know what time it is. We finna really get into some grease. So we're definitely gonna do that. Yes, the banner is there for a reason. It gives you full blown detail as to what all you should do. Subscribe to the Patreon, the Cash App is Carceno. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all of those great things. Now, let's get into the grease. Now, like I said, people were hitting me up, and some people were talking about a video I did back saying this is where Biggie got his style from. And that was in 2015, I believe, when I made that video to show people where he really got his style from. And recently, there's been a rapper from Mississippi to come forward and tell his story. Mississippi rapper called Notorious Big One. Notorious B1, everybody called him, but he was the Notorious Big One. And he had a song called Juicy Fruit made to the same beat that Biggie did, but his was out first in 93, even though it was recorded basically in 93, 94. The same song, Juicy. Now, according to this guy, they stole his song and basically his name. Now, Biggie rapped and recorded the majority of this album under the name Biggie Smalls. But they could never get the clearance for the name Biggie Smalls, because he was known as Biggie, Big, all through his life. I mean, not his life, but from his people that was around him. What's up, Big Chris? So he became Biggie Smalls. But there was another artist, a white artist actually, who went by the name of Biggie Smalls and had that name trademarked. And he would not sell or part with the name Biggie Smalls. And Puffy could not secure it from him, as much as he tried. So they went away from that. So he was in need of a new name. And because Puff didn't have the power at that time to acquire that name, this was it. Now, the album was pretty much done. Juicy was one of the last songs that was recorded for the joint. Well, for the album, rather. Juicy was one of, I want to say, the album was probably about, I want to say 90% recorded. I think he might have recorded 2 more songs after this. But Puffy shows up with this record and said, "This the beat I need you to rap to. I need you to find a way to make it work." He didn't give him this guy's song. Puffy wanted to look like the genius. But to think Puffy got this song and he heard it, I believe it 100%. Because he said in 93 he was signed to a small record company called Dragon Records in Gulfport, Mississippi. And that he wrote to that Juicy Fruit beat and he recorded it and on this album called Big Daddy that was with the Mississippi Doughboys. And he released it in September '93 when Snoop released Doggy Style. And he said after the record was made, they sent it to the majors, tried to shop the record, right? Now, when he was on the radio and in the stores at the same time, okay, that's somebody I know. Should I say, who the hell is texting me at 6:45 in the morning? I don't know what the hell he talking about. But he talking about the one with the Russian. He put it on a hard drive or something. I don't know what he's talking about. It's the type of craziness I go through every day. Now, he's saying that his name was the original Big Notorious Big One, B1, and that they took his name and took his song. And I believe it's true. 100% true. I believe Puff heard this record when they were sending it out to the majors. Saw this guy named Notorious B1 and said, who is this guy? Oh, he's some local rapper from some city. He's like, man, this song's kind of hot. And they took it, just the way the record business works. And took his name too. Puffy is the one that named him the Notorious B.I.G. He's like, you the Notorious Biggie. Notorious Big, man. That's your name, the Notorious. So he the one named him the Notorious B.I.G. That was Puffy. So if Puffy getting named Notorious B.I.G., Notorious Big, that was it. You the Notorious Big. So that was it. Biggie chose to abbreviate the name, put the B.I.G. like that, the Notorious Big, and put the periods in there and abbreviate it that way because the guy who he did get his style from, who I did tell y'all he got his style from, was MC Thick. This is the tape he used to play all the time when he was a shorty. Because he seen somebody that was big like him blowing up. They had the jukebox and all these things, but they had a song called Morero. Cruising down the street in my 6'4", and they're yelling Morero. So Morero, New Orleans, this guy named MC Thick, the way he used to rap and everything, a big dude like that, was a big influence on Biggie. He had the tape, the cassette tape, and he had a song called Thick, and it was abbreviated that way. And I made that video like 5 years ago. Probably longer than that, but I know it had to have been like in 2015 or something like that, around that time. So when that song was made, it was a game changer. But to listen to Juicy Fruit and listen to this Notorious B1 guy, They're entirely different people. So to say Biggie got his style from him, I no, he did not get his style from this man. They're entirely different. I could listen to that Juicy and listen to Biggie's Juicy. Their style is not the same. I could understand why someone from like Rolling Stone would believe it's the same, but no, they're not the same. He has a very distinct Mississippi drawl to the song. I mean, it's a nice flow, but the way Big rocked to it is a lot different than how this man rocked to the song. And they both did good jobs, but the way Big rocked to it was way different. And I never liked the song anyway. So, I still look at him as Biggie Smalls. Smalls is the illest. So, I want to thank you all for your time, because without your time, none of this is possible. But this falls on the head of Sean Puffy Combs. Sean Puffy Combs is the reason for all of this. Puffy knew. He knew all about what he was doing. If it wasn't for Puff, man. I'm trying to see, man. This is gonna be kind of crazy. But Puff is the one came up with the name Notorious B.I.G. But please, could that guy write Unbelievable? Could that guy make a 5-star album, The Notorious B1? I seriously doubt it. Now, people say that's thievery. That happens all the time in this business. Look how many times Meek Mill has done it. But see, he actually knows where the records is coming from. It ain't like somebody presented it to him. He knew he was ripping these artists off. Um, it's a dirty game, and they'd be like, man, how do you protect yourself from it? It's not really too much you could do when you're the smaller person trying to reach out for distribution. You can incorporate and copyright your stuff, but by the time you go to court and try to fight it, you're bankrupt just for trying to fight it. This is why big companies normally always win. They're not right. They'll know they be dead wrong and will just do it anyway, and then will keep you in litigation for so long till you go bankrupt. You can't keep up. So they don't fear anything. But you'll get it one day. You'll completely get it one day. I have no doubt in my mind that this Notorious B1 guy was telling the truth. 100% I believe him and what he was saying, but Biggie did not get his style from him. He got the name, probably, I believe Puff gave him the name. So Notorious B.I.G. came from Puff. Juicy Fruit song came from Puff. Biggie had no intentions of rapping on that song ever. And the fact that Biggie knew who this guy was, I seriously doubt it. I don't think he went his whole life hearing about this guy. But because of Biggie's success, there was no way the Notorious B1 would ever grow under that name. He would have to change his name and come back as another artist. Because there's no way anybody would sign him because it would be detrimental to Biggie's careers. Puffy would make sure, Clyde Davis would make sure that guy's career would never go anywhere under the name Notorious B1. They would have ran him out of the business. We can't have anything that looks like Biggie, that was close to Biggie, who had a song out before Biggie. We can't have that out there. That could tarnish us. So if you want to blame anybody, blame Sean Puffy Combs. So don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the page, hit the notification bell, all those great things, and go to the Patreon today. I promise you, you don't want to miss that. If you know of a guy named DJ Vlad, you're gonna want to go to the Patreon. Trust me. Just take my word for it. I'm out.